minutes. Round 5, we go racing. Oh, trouble for Danny Nasseir. He'll get a jump start as we go racing, and we head into turn 1. It's going to be a very tight one, and oh, it was very close between Conti and Richard. It's almost 3 wide as Layla trying to get the hustle there into the left-hander as they all hustle up the order there. It's very tight for some of the drivers, but it's your lead there of Andy Park. Layla trying to go through side by side with Evan Steinberg. Contact is made, and Evan Steinberg sent off. Evan tried. They were side by side there. Trouble there. Layla will go through, but for how long? If there is some sort of penalty, that could go down. But race start here as they try to get around the order here. A couple of drivers going wide. It looks like the top 8 all separated there in the rear end as they all try to hustle up and get going. Layla trying to catch up through the order, has P5 ahead. Now this is a lot closer. This is what Santos has to get if he wants to get to Andy Park. Layla against Richard Nevis. Nevis is going to hug the inside line for dear life, and Layla will try to go around the outside. Now can he get it done? Can Layla get it done? Excuse me. She goes around the outside. Door is shut. Nevis holding on to dear life. He's defending. He's holding on. Real close racing between the two. Layla nose to tail. She'll send it down the inside. Layla will get the move done. Up to P5. Nevis, does he respond? Not much space around this part of the circuit. Not whatsoever. And still chasing down, looking for this move here. This is your battle for 6th position. Andy Park, another fastest lap of the race. But here we go. Now on the slipstream here. Big chance. Nose to tail. And a little bit of a bump draft as well for good measure. And now into T1, we'll send it down, and Oleg will get the move done, so P6. Park may have one more extra lap left to go. 30 seconds to the line. Can he get there in time? Layla, trouble! Trouble for Layla! Making a mistake heading into the chicane! And if the championship... If the championship here settled... At this point, that might be the final nail in the coffin. Layla, who was P4, goes down the order. But around the final corner, timer will officially expire for Andy Park, who will round out the order. May have one hand on the championship. After that one, Andy Park will soar to the line. Victory in hand. Another one. He wins it. Round 5 at Sugo goes to him. Daniel Santos will take a P2, finishing about 4 seconds behind P3 to complete the podium. It is Eros Conti. It's 4 lights. It's round 6. Lights are out and we go racing. Mackenzie will get a drive-through for jumping the start, but they all go through here into turn 1. And Andy Park able to get a fantastic start, already exiting the picture there. Leading it out, Santos P2, Conti will shuffle into 3rd position. A little bit wide as they head into the left-hander. Now it's going to be a very tight section here around this part of the circuit. They're all single files so far. One car's been spun, it's one with Tiago Crawford. Oh, unfortunately collected in that one. But final race here. The final chance that maybe Santos could try to nip a race win as they all go wide. as they head onto the back straight. In the background, Nevis is looking to hunt for a podium. He's fighting against Conti on the slipstream. Does he send a dive early on the inside? He stays competent behind, not going to go for the move, and he'll just hold on to P4 as it stands. P5, Layla, doing a great job, a great jump. Has Mackenzie behind him. Mackenzie has to take a drive-through penalty for jumping the start, so it's going to send her race backwards for the time being. But Andy Park, this is what he needs for the title. Into the right-hander. Double right-hander for the both of them. Conti touches the grass, loses the rear end. It's going to put Layla all over the back of Conti. And a great run. So Eros is going to defend the inside and hold on to it for dear life as Layla will try to sweep it around the outside if it is possible. Conti, though, is going to be confident on the brakes, going to hold on. Is the switchback open? Slightly, it is. Conti's going to try to close the door, push Layla out wide. Not going to matter. Layla's going to swoop it down the inside and should be able to get the move. It's still side by side, still door-to-door action. No contact made between each other. They still now climb up the hill close together. P4 and P5. Eros defending, but how long until Layla gets the run? And I have a sneaking suspicion it's right here and right now. Layla pulling up to the outside. Both of them shifting up almost at the same time. Conti a little bit bogged down, just slightly. Wanting to get to fifth gear as soon as possible. Now around the outside, can Layla hold on without going wide? It's a tall order here, but it's not impossible. Layla with the move done around the outside. Brilliant, up to fourth. Now does Conti send it down? He does not. He'll let go of it. Layla on a mission to get to the podium. A lot more curb used there from Conti. Turn 4, a little bit deep on the entry, kind of messed up the exit there for Layla. Drop down a couple milliseconds there. Now 0.93, depends how you get the entry here sorted for the back straight. Both of them solid there. And continuing on here, still undecided. It's your last battle here, your closest one on track. Could we see a photo finish? We have not seen one in quite a while. Can Conti get it done? He's got to put down a lot of pressure on Layla in his final 90 seconds. And I believe we may be on the final lap here for the race leader. So coming to the line here, they won't really know it, but it will be the final lap. What a performance throughout this championship. Getting it done. Every round has been so consistent. There was some up and downs here and there throughout the season, but it didn't matter because consistency and the pace that Park has proved to the haters has really shut them up. Andy Park, MX-5 champion! He wins at Sugo. The broom goes to him. A second one for the closet. Daniel Santos will finish another P2. Rounding out the final quarter for Richard Nevis. He will finish up to P number 3 to this final battle here. Layla will finish 4th on track, but a 10-second penalty over later. She'll be finishing behind Conti. That'll be after the race. Conti, though, on track will finish 5th. Evan Steinberg will finish in 6th position, followed by Kirill in P7. In P8, it'll go to Pi in P9. Tiago, P10. Rounding out your top 10, it will be Leonardo.
You got scars deep enough to last. Heart full of broken glass, and I'm gonna paint it black. Oh, I got bruises I covered up. I've been used every time I loved. Nothing to lose when the devil comes. Oh, turn off the lights, we can turn them out, 'cause turn off the lights, we can burn them out, 'cause I know what's waiting, I know what it's made of, what it's made of. Come and take me closer to the edge now. If you think you can't love me, I can show you how to have a breakdown.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. It is time for the finale, the final race here in MX-5 Cup. This is it. One race to do it. You may be thinking to yourself, one race? I thought there were two races here today. But for the first time ever, we will be hosting the Prologue of Porsche Supercup. So today you're actually gonna get two races in one. Surprise! The drivers only got to learn about that just a couple days ago. So we're gonna find out how it turns out here today. But this is it. One race left to go. We already have a champion. But let's see how the stat line will do if Andy Park can go one more time on top. But welcome! It's Sydney Motorsports Park. It's the Australian Grand Prix. It's only round 7 here today. Round 8 will reach its conclusion and a cancellation. This is it. All the drivers out here today, 14 concurrent, looking for the top spot. We're going to find out who is going to be taking that race win today. And we also have qualifying that will turn down the split format. For now, we're going to get all drivers on qualifying at once. Not seen since last year's Race of Champions. So, the format is going to be working like this. We're getting at the end of this practice session, we get into qualifying. How is qualifying going to work? It's going to be just 10 minutes. The drivers are going to have just 10 minutes to set their best lap. They're going to have all the other drivers on track, so it's going to be very important to navigate the field, find space to put down the best lap. After that, instead of two 30-minute races with a mandatory pit stop, it's one 20-minute race that sprints to the very end. No pit stop for these guys, so they're going to have a lot of work to do to keep these tires alive and to, most importantly, stay consistent, because the aspect of that pit stop is gone. So the potential mistake of having a slow pit stop, well, that's not there anymore. After the 20-minute race, we're going to get into interviews, and that will conclude MX-5 Cup. Then it's into the next chapter. It's like reading the back of the book. When you're looking for something to read, you want to know what it's about? The Prologue will show you. We're going to stay right here at Sydney Motorsports Park, and in the garages, tuning them up and getting them ready to go, are the 2026 Porsche Supercups. They're going to be back on track for the first time since April of last year. And we're going to see 20 laps of racing, an 8-minute solo qualifying session. And we're going to have ourselves rolling starts into 20 minutes of racing. No mandatory pit stop either, but the drivers may be considering coming in with the way this race will turn out to be. So, as checkered flag is out here in practice, we're just waiting for all the drivers to get set into the pit lane. We're going to have a small intermission, and then we are going to get ready for qualifying. And with qualifying coming up, we have quite a bit to talk about. Most importantly, taking a look at the field, we have a couple drivers, mainly one name that you're going to see, and you're going to be like, if you were a long-time CMRSC member from 2021, you're going to know this name. Ari, in the pit lane, formerly known as Sarah, is going to be joining us back here once again. The last time we saw her was all the way back at Race of Champions Round 1 in GT4. So now back once again in the pink BWT Alpine. We're going to see what Ari can do here. So very happy to see Ari back, and maybe here for the entirety of Porsche Supercup. We'll find out. But we're going to get going here. Let's talk to the drivers for a quick moment. All right. Mic check, mic check. Thank you, Layla. Welcome. Qualifying session about to get underway. Of course, it's a very different format than what you're used to. There's no more split qualifying session anymore for this last round. It will now turn into just one 10-minute session. Once qualifying begins, everyone can come out, and you have until the checkered flag to complete your qualifying session. So give each other some space, even though we are looking about 13 concurrent here. It's still a pretty small track to find some space, so give it your all. Well, I'll talk to you after that, so I don't confuse you once we get into racing conditions. But best of luck in qualifying. That's coming up in 1 minute and 45 seconds. So, drivers getting ready to go here for this qualifying session. 14 concurrent in the chat. Welcome. Just taking you through this circuit here. It's a very, very awesome circuit here. It's Sydney Motorsports Park. Very famous for its supercars that come around here, the Australian Supercars series. Normally they race in the evening to nighttime. Think of like a F1 Abu Dhabi-esque kind of race. That's the type of stuff that these supercars do around here. But a very fun circuit. Very flowing. It's perfect for these MX-5s. We're going to find out if Porsche Supercup will fare well around here. It's an absolutely splendid circuit. And we're getting ready for the final qualifying session in MX-5 Cup. It's been a fun journey. It's been very awesome to see some of the incredible racing that's gone down. You look back at Brands Hatch, an absolute blessing of what we had going. And then after that, we had the absolute chaotic Motorsport event at Canada. The pack racing was undeniably awesome. We headed into Sportsline Sugo, the first technical track, and it really showed its side as Andy Park was able to dominate it and make it his. We now head to Sydney. It's basically a mix between that bit of technical side, but also very fast. 15 seconds left to go before we get into this one. Subscribe if you haven't already. It's game on. It's qualifying for the final time. Green light comes out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get this one underway. Qualifying MX-5. All right, qualifying has begun. All drivers are free to make it on track. Best of luck here in this qualifying session. All right, here we go. Game on. As all the drivers make their way out, you can see there's a little bit of a stoppage there as there's drivers trying to find their... Whoa! As I think that's Leonardo, who was trying desperately to get out the way, has done so. But now these buzzing bees can start to put down their fastest laps here. Welcome to qualifying. So here we go. First qualifying here of 2 here today. We're going to have our qualifying session coming up for Porsche Supercup. It'll be a single car qualifying. So we're not going to be seeing the cars on tracks. And this will be the only time we watch qualifying here today. So let's make the most of it. They only have 10 minutes to set down their fastest lap time. So let's see what they can do. Andy Park is going to be the first driver to come out, and let's talk about him for a moment. Andy Park is one of the newest drivers here in CMRSC, predominantly made his debut back last year at the DTM World Championship. Took a bit of a hiatus, returned back for the ending of the GT World Challenge Championship in 2026. Was on a wheel before it was on a pad, but now making absolute headwaves. So now on to the final corner, and 3 weekends later, he is champion. Let's go around for a little lap, shall we? Let's take you through what Sydney has to offer. Heading into turn 1, it's completely flat out, left-hander, little bit of steering, no lift needed. It right onto the yellow line on the outside. Get ready to get hard onto the brakes just after the 100-meter board. Downshift to 3rd gear. Left-hander. Car getting drifted out a bit wide, but just get on the power and get that late apex, and it'll save you a couple of tenths. Now into the right-hander, flat out through here. Avoid the grass. It kind of just pops out of nowhere just after the curbing. Stick to the left-hand side. This is a very tricky part of the circuit. Now, a little lift here, dragging the brakes. Get right back on the throttle, 4th gear. Get on the curb on the right-hand side. Flick it into the left-hand side, flat out once again. Take all the momentum possible. Get over the curb. You're allowed to keep those 2 right-hand tires off the curb if you need to, but can't be all 4. Now into the left-hander. Avoid those cinder blocks of absolute doom. Avoiding them perfectly. Getting onto the wide curbing. Into this left-hander. You want to turn in very early. Don't go all the way wide. Get to the left-hand side. Brake at the 50-meter board. Down for the hairpin. Very wide, though, Andy Park is going. So he'll take all the exit runoff curb if he needs to. Doesn't have to this time. Now into the right-hander. Completely flat out this time. Once the curbing ends on the right-hander, get right on the brakes immediately. Downshift to 3rd gear. Let it run as wide as possible that track limits will allow you. A late apex here. Flat out on the throttle. You can stick to the inside line if you want to, but I have a feeling that Andy Park just wants a banker lap as he goes for another one. But the first lap the drivers are going to be chasing down is a 1 minute 41.733. So that's the first lap there. Thiago Ravaz next to cross the line. He'll go up to 2nd position. Ari and Mohammed now drag racing on circuit. You may notice that one driver is missing from this order. It's Layla. Layla Petraglia is facing a qualifying ban from the accumulated penalty points from other races, and it's kind of just added up on her on this last race, so she is having to stay into the pits, but it's just her little slap on the wrist that she has to go through right now, and then she'll be right back out and for the race and for future qualifying sessions, provided there is no further penalty and future penalty that she gains. So your top 5 already starting to settle down. Andy Park, Daniel Tabiner goes to P2. Ari's been shuffled down to 3rd. Eros Conti, P4. And Alex Sanson is P5. Here's Andy Park. He's gone a lot quicker in the first sector with 32.5. Now into the right-hander. A lot more cleaner. You can see just nailing that middle apex. And now on exit, almost actually matching exactly what he's done in the middle sector. Gonna take a bit of a wide angle for the right-hander. Flick it into the left-hander. Gonna go as wide as possible. Hold on to it for the late apex. Mash the throttle down. Smooth exit on the curbing on the outside. And now once again, a drag race to the line. Can he find improvement? His delta is looking promising and crossing the line. Now it looks like it's going to be an improvement of a 141.695. So next to the line, here comes Thiago once again from P7. He was shot up to P2 momentarily. Now he's going to try again, and unfortunately, he's not going to improve. Mohammed next to cross the line, followed by Danny Nasseir. Mohammed from the UAE will go up to 7th position. The Canadian Danny Nasseir, co-founder of CMRSC, will stay P9. From P11, Riga Milana will turn up his luck and go to P number 4. PY next to cross the line as well. From 7th, he will stay 7th. P2 crossing the line from Eros Conti. He's not going to have any improvement. Ari, is there any chance to get on the front row? No. Looks like it was just an outlap for her. Daniel Tabiner still staying 3rd position. From P6, Oleg, no improvement. Nor is Kirill. He's not going to be doing anything. P13 of Leonardo. Nothing as yet for him either. Now, is there any improvement? Looks like Riga Milan is tuning up the band. Let's keep an eye on him. He's got Danny Nasseir ahead. And we're going to see if potentially the slipstream is going to help. If not, and he gets up there a little too close to Danny, he's going to have to lift off here a little bit wide, almost into the cinder blocks of doom. You look back at the battle between Mike Van Dorn and Daniel Santos, and Santos's weekend where he took his first ever race win, and you look at him now. Oh, he's a multi-time champion. Regan backing off wisely, allowing Danny Nasseir going through. And Andy Park is going to start up another lap. We have 3 minutes left to go in qualifying. Andy Park is going to want to get this one done and dusted and hopefully faster. He's the only driver in the 141s, but how long is that going to last? Ari was very quick throughout practice week in the MX-5, so we're going to see if she can do anything towards the end of this session. Now to the right-hander here. Completely flat out. Now, straight lining into the next set of corners here. Let's go once again on board. 4th gear, little lift. A lot better on the turn-in, but already a 10th down in the first part of this lap. Into the left-hander, over the curbing, on exit. And is there any potential chance that we can see a proper improvement here from the champion, the driver who is sitting with the number 1? Ignore the 16. He's going to be erasing the 6 after this one, and it's going to be number 1 for the next championship coming up, Porsche Supercup. Now into the right hand, a little bit wider than I would have expected. A very hot on entry that time by, but he has found himself a bit of purple, but he's still just that bit down on his delta. Now, can he find some time back through the final 3 corners here? Just like that, we're around the final corner. On to the front straight. Not using that exit curb as much as he was before, but now he'll be hoping that he can turn this time down. Ari's P2. Andy Park, can he respond? And he will not. Just barely off of 41.750. You can see there, Ari is finding some pace here, but time is crucially running out in this session. Tiago next to the line from P10. Is an improvement? Unfortunately, it is not. Danny Nasseir next to the line, followed by Regan Milano. Looks like Regan has once again caught up with his pace. He's currently sitting P5. Can Danny Nasseir get into the top 10? He can with a 9th position time. Regan will firmly get up onto the 2nd row. P4, 142.2. Here comes Ari next to the line. Looking pretty promising in the first sector, but just not the improvement enough. She's going to call it quits. It's an improvement on that lap, that's for sure. But 25 seconds left to go in qualifying. A lot of drivers calling it quits. Conti is going to be the driver who's sitting P3 next to the line, and I'm not seeing a delta on him, so this may actually be an out lap. So we'll switch gears to the driver behind, Leonardo, next to the line in the number 9. MX-5, the light blue, and staying P14. Time is up, and this is it. So one final chance for these drivers. Andy Park is going to call it quits. P11, Mark Crawford, the Guyanese in the Castrol Mazda, will cross the line now. Can he get his way into the top 10, pushing down Danny Nasseir? He can. He goes up to 9th. P12, next to the line here. Tiago. Double left-hander for him. Can he navigate that well? Final left-hander for him. And greatly navigated. Now, is it enough to put down a proper lap time here? Let's see. So from P12, can he get back in the top 10? Crossing the line now. It's only enough for P11. 2 cars left to go. Looks like here on the front straight. Couple drivers still left. Danny Nasseir first to cross the line from P12. Is there any improvement? He'll stay 12th. Regan Milano will also keep his position 14th. Mackenzie Thompson, trouble. And that's going to lead her into the wall there. And Taberner is going to swiftly put that one straight into the pits. Now Conti, wow, very aggressive slide on the entry. A bit of a shadow there, overlooking the circuit around the final corner. And Conti just unfortunately not really finding the pace that he wanted to around that final corner. 2 cars left to go to the line. PY and up the road, Leonardo. PY is going to enter the pits. So, Leonardo, the last driver to cross the line, and he's not going to find any improvement. So, it is Andy Park who takes pole position. The final qualifying session goes to him with a 141.695. All right, congratulations, your top 3 there, Andy, Ari, and Eros. All right, let's quickly run it down here for the race. It's just one 20-minute race. No mandatory pit stop. You can come in if you want to, but there is no mandatory pit stop for this race. So it's just a one and done 20-minute session. No safety cars, no virtual safety cars, no extra lap at the end. So best of luck. All right, we're going to get this one ready. Let's do this, folks. Here we go. So it is time to get this one underway. So Mazda MX-5 Cup for the final time. Here are your cars sitting in the pit lane for one final time. An absolute gem that we had throughout this one. And we can't thank all the drivers enough for giving us a fantastic showcase here. But we're going to get on to the grid soon. Now, we're going to take a look at some of the liveries we had. Riga Milana was the number 95. But we did not get his livery onto the track. This may be the end of Riga Milana as well. Or maybe a future... maybe a future chapter for him one day. But we will see. We did not. We'll see what the future of Riga Milana takes. Sorry, just had to do a quick little audio check. Mackenzie Thompson also here. Leonardo, how about we just meet them on the grid, shall we? The home of Australian motorsports, Sydney Motorsport Park. It's actually fitting that next championship we end off at Albert Park, so it's gonna be pretty awesome. Here we go. So it's Andy Park who starts it off on pole position, followed by Ari in P2. Eros Conti will take P3. Final time we'll see that livery. Very awesome looking there. Riga Milana, P4. Daniel Tavener, P5. Fantastic looking livery there from him. Sixth will go to Mackenzie Thompson. Then it's Alex Henson, Mohammed, Mark, PY, Tiago Ravaz, Danny Nasseir, Kirill. Oh, well, he was there. Leonardo and Layla will start at the back of the field. So here we go. Game on for all these drivers here today. Let's get a fun angle of this one. We are 1 minute away from this one beginning here. And once again, thank you so much for such an incredible journey here that you supported us in chat, or maybe you are a racer formerly here for the MX-5 Cup. Thank you so much for giving us a championship to not forget. It's time now. We begin the final chapter here of MX-5 Cup. Will it return in the latter stages of this year, or maybe 2027? We'll find out one day. As for now, this is it. Thank you for the journey. Let's get it started. Let's get ourselves the angle. Game on for the final time. 4, 4 lights on the board. It's Sydney Motorsport Park MX-5. Let's complete the season. It's Mackenzie who gets a jump start, and it's Andy Park who will lead off this one as they head into turn 1, flat out into the left-hander. Ari is trying to get her nose in so she can slipstream Andy Park as they race into turn 1. Tiago also got a drive through. Conti just getting squeezed, the nose getting it wrong there. The 3 wide in the background as they head into the first braking zone. It's PY who gets it wrong, almost avoided by the group. It's Danny Nasseir and Leonardo who do get collected from that. Ari gets munked off of that one because Conti is up a position. He's up to 2nd. It's still Andy Park who leads off this race. Can he hold on for the onslaught of drivers that come up fast into the left-hander here? A lot of them are going to try to carry this momentum as much as possible. You may see a couple of them going wide. In the background, we see a couple of drivers try to get antsy. You see Oleg in the background. He's trying to go side by side with Daniel Tavener. Mackenzie Thompson in the background trying to get a move there on the inside. Oleg, a little bit of an early turn, and Daniel Tavener still there on the inside, still side by side, beating and banging into the right-hander of the hairpin. Now, Mackenzie Thompson gets right up the inside and tries to get the move done. Unfortunately, cannot get it done. Layla, with an absolute monster jam of a start, will get up to P7. Now they head into the right-hander, flicking it into the left-hander this time around. It's going to get very spicy for here. Looking at the rear cam, Tavener looking to the inside. Oleg has to stay one side here. He'll have a car up his inside. Very tough, and already the drive-thrus are going to be beginning. Mackenzie Thompson's going to be one of the 2. Layla is going to try to get a move here around the outside. Maybe we'll go on board side by side. Oleg and Daniel as they head into turn 1. Daniel just a little bit of a slide wide. They make contact with each other. Layla watching the battle unfold, trying her best to just navigate through the action that's going on here. Still side by side as they now go up the hill in the left-hander into the right-hander now. Can Layla find her way to battle through this one? Tavener firmly on the outside. It'll have Layla on the inside, potentially a dive bomb if she can pull it off here. Into the inside move. The space is there for Layla. She'll be able to claim it. And Tavener's been sent down the 7th, and now P5 for Layla is up for grabs. What a fight this is in the early goings here. 20 minutes of racing. We have 17 left. Now into the left-hander. It's trouble for Layla, hitting the grass. Can she avoid the cinder blocks of doom? She just about does so, and she continues, but she has lost that position back to Daniel Tavener. Let's head back up to the front of the pack. It's Andy Park leading the Grand Prix, but he hasn't really escaped that much. Eros Conti is keeping him for company, and Ari is trying to get back 2nd position. Now to the right-hander, flick it into the left-hander now, this time by all 3 drivers using as much curb as track limits will allow them to. And now on to the front straight once again. They will be now completing lap number 2 of this race. What a start. I believe actually this should be lap 3. Or lap 2. We are already getting confused here, and we are just getting started. A lot of drivers now. It's just a single pack journey up at the front. 16 minutes left to go into this one to seal the deal out here. Ari, is there a chance to go down the inside of Conti? Not this time as they head into the first braking zone, and you see already a 2nd breaking away. Andy Park trying to get away as quick as possible. This is the prime time to do so, because once Ari finds her way to break through of Eros Conti, it's going to be a real war up at the front. But Conti's going to be doing everything to try to keep Andy Park at bay while also keeping Ari in the defense. And as they head into the left-hander, it's just one little mistake will cost one of these 2 drivers a position. So it's real pressure between the 2 of them. Now heading up the hill, now into the left-hander here. It's very tricky to get this part going. You do not want to touch that cinder block on the outside. It pokes out just ever so slightly onto the front of the field. So you really want to make sure you are avoiding it at all costs. But down the inside, like, there was an opportunity there for Ari, but just unfortunately not. This is classic Ari. Shades, vintage, all the way back in 2021, giving the field everything she's got. She was one of the big talking points back then. I can't wait to see what she can do in this fight here. Side by side, Mackenzie Thompson has completed that drive-through and now back and going side by side with PY. Into the right-hander, coming up fast here, and it looks like Mackenzie will be able to take that move. Ari now will take it down the inside of Eros Conti. There's a chance, there's a slimmer of hope to get this move finally done. Is it now? Side by side. Who's the first of the late breakers as they get into the next part? Eros may have to let go of that one. He'll try to send it down the outside. He'll try his best to hold on. The uphill left-hander will make Ari the absolute favorite to take that corner, and she will. Ari is up to second position in the back, and Eros is going to try to get this one going back again. It's still very much nose to tail. And a little bit wide, though, is Ari, so it's going to open up the door for Eros Conti to maybe send it around the outside. A little kick of the grass, though. It may mess up the momentum. Could it be a switchback? I think the momentum was far gone before that. Ari defends the inside. Eros is going to just hold on to the outside. It's almost contact between them, but they stay respectful between each other. It's been awesome to see how Eros has improved ever since joining us back at Watkins Glen in the DTM World Championship. He's now a driver to watch out for the podium, so it's very awesome to see what he's doing out here. He's having a great showcase. Regan Milana, P4 behind, is doing a great job as well. Also, trying to hustle up through the pack. Now, as we go a little more towards the back end, you see that Layla has successfully gotten the move back on Daniel Taberner. And now we head up and going to this next set here. Oleg, next driver here to overtake. Layla will have some work to do. But how much work? You can see that rear end of Oleg is absolutely mashed up. Fastest lap of the race will go to Andy Park. And Oleg, a little bit of a later move than I would have liked. And I think race direction's also going to feel the same. That was a little bit naughty there from Oleg. They're still going to go side by side nonetheless. And Layla going to try to get this work done around the outside. Eros was not able to get it on Ari, but the switchback is going to help. And Layla with a textbook move will get that one done and dusted. So another one done. Layla is up to the top 5. And now we have about 12 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. Not enough time, I would say. These drivers having a lot of fun. Now into the left-hander once again. Meanwhile, Mackenzie Thompson on the inside. Actually, make that the outside around Leonardo. Now, can she get it done? Door is shut there on the outside. Now it's to switch back to the regular racing line. Inside line is firmly there. Bit of contact is made between them. Side by side firmly. Now Mackenzie will have the inside line, but they got to respect each other on the exit here because that wall there is going to hit you hard. And I think Leonardo had a second thought of battling that one. So is going to back out, but is going to try to go for another attack somewhere here and has the outside firmly. Mackenzie, oh, trouble, a bit of contact. That was a bit messy there as they rubbed fenders and doors. It has launched up Mackenzie just a little bit further in P11, and it's now allowed PY to get alongside of Leonardo. Fastest lap once again for Andy Park, and PY trying to find a move here, forced around the outside, sent wide. Danny Nasseir watching this battle here. He's also going to want to get a piece of this pie here. Side by side once again. Now PY is up the inside. Danny Nasseir going to watch this battle here. Can he maybe take advantage of the Canadian who's taking it down the inside, who will firmly push Leonardo off the racing line? We'll find out. They head into turn 1. Looks like Leonardo has the inside lines. Bit of contact between them. Oh, trouble! And sent 360, a great save there from PY, but a very scary moment there. It almost looked like the tires just rubbed into each other and PY was essentially almost mounting the rear end. But that's a harsh moment there. Battling very hard and it goes wrong like that. That's such a shame. So a bit of a shame there. Welcome in, chat. just reading your guys' messages. We had such an entertaining first half of this race. If you're just tuning in, it's not been a 30-minute race, nor we have a race 2 coming up for these MX-5 Cups. This is the last time you're going to see these buzzing bees on track. Next up, it's the Porsche Supercup Prologue. You don't want to miss it. Porsche Cups on this circuit here. We may see about 20 drivers enter that one, so it's going to be very awesome. Welcome X-Play in the house watching this one. And welcome everyone else who's joined in. I do see somebody in chat wanting to have a little bit of a drinking game for something I do say a lot. Oh. They've given me a lot of power there. 9 minutes, 15 seconds left to go. And we have this battle here to watch now as Daniel Taverner has found himself a little bit of company here in the form of Oleg. Let's see how they fare between each other. As they race up the hill now, down the hill into the right-hander on board with the driver from the UK into the left-hander. Little touch of the curb up in front of them. Layla, who's sitting in the top 5, has some work to do to try to keep up so she can get herself up to Regan Milana, but looks like Oleg is starting to reel in just that bit closer. And maybe there is a potential chance. Of this move going here. Let's see if there is. So gap right now, 1 second. Half a second is the gap between Oleg and Daniel as they head around the final corner. Now onto the front straight once again. Battle for the lead. It's 2.6, and it's kind of been hovering the same ever since the start of this race. Even when Ari was behind Eros, it just no gap was just made there, and that's a first. It's one of the first times that Alpha Tail has been yet to break a gap. That's honestly always been bigger than about 5 seconds. So Andy Park has some company. Now, granted, it's company that's 2.5 seconds behind, but Park cannot afford to make a mistake around here. Has to just keep this one consistent for another 7 minutes. And so far, Andy Park knows that and is going quicker. This first sector is fastest with a 32.5 compared to Ari with a 32... Looks like a 32.594 against a 32.547. Andy Park quicker. But they are kind of running identical here, so very interesting to see how this one's going to turn out later on to this race. This battle, however, getting a bit closer. So Oleg has some company once again. Now the man in the middle. Into the right-hander. Can he get it done? Meanwhile, a bit of contact is made from this fight that's going on here. PY was all over the rear, and a little bit of contact was made there, nose to tail. And a very scary moment there, almost could have ended in shambles. They did go side by side earlier on in this race, and it did end in a bit of a disaster for PY, so let's see if things could change around here. Meanwhile, look at this. Daniel Taverner finds the inside of Oleg. And it's your battle for 6th position. Side by side as they head into turn 2. Heartbreaking. Taverner on the inside. Can he get it done here? Very wide. And Oleg is going to take a note from what happened to himself and Layla. But unfortunately, the over-under is just not going to work. And the switchback is firmly deep in the ground. It's Taverner up to 6th position. And now he can start his mission in this final 5 minutes of this race to work his way up to the front. Meanwhile, PY could send it down the inside. Bit of contact is made. And the Italian doing a fantastic job of holding on to this battle here. Not wanting to let go one bit. PY's gonna have to try something else. Maybe a surprise move up the inside, but they've been keeping each other company. They're both in the points there. Little slide on exit there. I think Leonardo had a bit of a downshift moment there. Oh, look at that. Is that potentially the tires going up between them as they continue to fight hard? They are having such a ding-dong battle between the two. From the rest of the order, looks like our next closest battle is Oleg, as he's trying to get his get back. Let's go through the order real quick. Let's check out what's gone so far. So Dan and Nasseir sitting in alone, P13, last position at the moment. Our retirement out of this one, I believe it is just, I think we had one retirement in Tiago. Did have some errors with real penalty. We'll see if he is still on track. There's PY chasing down the Italian Leonardo for P11. P10, Mark Crawford, the Guyanese in the top 10, chasing down P9 and Mackenzie Thompson in her second week here in CMRSC. Mohammed, P8, followed by Oleg, trying to chase down Daniel Taberner. Closest battle on track. We'll visit them back in just a moment. Daniel Taberner, P6, Layla, Miss Midnight Bloom, Petragula, P5, very wide on corner exit, but you can see she's really trying to tune up the band for a final attack here on this man, Riga Milana. And one of the last races, a full-time driver will be going to a part-time schedule. Eros Conti, P3, Ari, P2, and Andy, P1. Two great battles to look out for in the final 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in this race. It's going to be an absolute stellar one, a pure excitement coming to the very end of this Australian Grand Prix finale. This is it. 3 minutes here for this championship to be completed. Chat shouting it out there. Track limits indeed. I haven't heard much about Mohammed. Yes, looks like Mohammed has kind of had a little bit of a lonely race out there. Not too much to talk about. But around out the final corner here. Andy Park, fastest lap at a 41.498. Now extends that gap to 3 seconds. Layla up the road, 1.3. We'll have a cam on her as we watch this fight go down. And Oleg really doing well to push on. Last week, best finishing result of a P4. 29 concurrent viewers watching the ending of this MX-5 Cup. Next up, it's the Porsche Supercup Prologue. Over 20 drivers will enter the fray, but only one will call himself the winner. It's a non-points playing race, but it's still great experience as they head into the 5-week championship that starts in Belgium on April 4th. Now, the final showdown is here. 2 minutes left to go. And Oleg chasing down half a second on the short screen. Layla finding herself now 1 second. Oh, and Oleg, a little bit of track limits for him as he's pushing with all his might. No mistake can be made from any of them as they push hard. Layla's now under a second of Riga Milana. Oleg, 7/10. It has gone a bit up. Now into the right-hander. And we're going to have 1 lap to go after this one. I think it's going to come to everybody by surprise. Final corner for Andy Park as he looks for another sweep here this weekend. Final chance here. A bit of a slide for Oleg. No. Oh, it's just getting worse there from him. Final lap. This is it. Andy Park sets the fastest lap of the race. Looks like Oleg may have used all his luck there, and it's just not able to work out for him. So Layla will now be the last driver we watch here as she chases down Riga Milana for P4. The chat's going to be divided on who's going to take this one. The teammate of Andy Park, Layla Petragula, will try it one final time from starting last on the grid because of a penalty. She's trying to get up to 4th position in what would be one of her greatest drives we've ever seen. Andy Park is halfway home to completing this race for another broom. Layla with 1 opportunity left up her sleeve. It's 5/10 the difference and absolutely pushing with all her might. Now into the left-hander, has to watch out track limits. Layla just holding on to it. Gap is now just under 5/10 the difference. 15 seconds left to go. Andy Park now in the final quarter of this one. But just like that, the drivers are going to look up their screen. They're going to get notified. This is it. The white flag is officially out if it wasn't already. Layla with 3/10, 3.9 at peak though. It's getting very close between them. Very close indeed. Layla will be chasing down for the final time. Is there a chance? Down the inside, it's contact. He's taken out. She's taken Riga Milana out, but up front, it's Andy Park with another broom. Championship's been settled. Andy takes victory. Ari's in second. Eros in third. Riga Milana's fourth. The respect is given between the two. Layla will give it up, knowing what went down there. It could have been a photo finish like this. Unfortunately, it will not be. Tabater will finish 6th position. Oleg will not get it done at the end. Mohammed will finish up in 8th position. Mackenzie Thompson in P9. To round out your top 10, it's Mark Crawford, Leonardo 11th, Danny Nasseir 12th. PY has taken it into the pits, but race is over. Everyone's celebrating. Oleg's decided to send it into the barriers. MX-5 has come to the conclusion here today. Wow, what a race. What an absolute race that was. That was a lot of fun to check out. But that's your race winner. He's already a champion. He's just got another trophy to add to the collection. Andy Park is a race winner once again, adding to the list. An absolute dream here for this championship. Simply lovely there. Let's talk to our drivers. All right, what an awesome race there. What an awesome showcase. Give yourselves a pat on the back. That was great. Absolutely fantastic to see that one go down there. Congratulations to all the drivers who finished today. We're going to get into interviews right away. And we're going to start with our driver who finishes P number 1. Another broom to add to the list. Another trophy for the cabinet. Andy, known as Andy Park. Park, number 1, P1, pole position. Well, it's just looking very easy for you nowadays, doesn't it? You win here at Sydney for the last round. How does that feel?
Oh, well, I don't know if there's a saying, but you don't get tired of winning. No, you don't get tired of winning. Though I don't think it didn't come easy, because at turn 2, I had a little bit of a heart attack. Because I saw Eros and I saw Ari dive their noses, and I was like, with the pace that I have, I would very much prefer to go in the grass, but I just kept it and trusted that they wouldn't punt me. So yeah, I'm mostly happy that I made it in one piece, but yeah, all good feelings, I'm happy.
Well, you've already wrapped up the championship. That was just a fun one to chill out for, but that's it. MX-5 Cup is done and dusted. As the driver who purely dominated this one with the excellent pace you had out there, take us through how did you feel with this championship as a whole since day one?
It was very fun, though I would have liked if more big names showed up, because I saw Cody Lawrence, and that was the reason why I joined. I thought he would be doing the other rounds, but the car in itself is extremely fun. I've driven it in LFM since like last year, and it's always been such a great car to drive, and especially with the racing, even though I haven't done much racing. But the car overall is a pleasure, and the tracks as well, always a pleasure.
And it's victory once again. A little bit of a win streak here. Now, of course, this next race coming up in Porsche Cup is not for the record books at all. Just a fun one. But I have a feeling that you're going to be looking at the top spot, especially for the championship. Heading into the next one, Porsche Supercup. What's the reaction and what's the feelings?
All out, I'll tell you. I'm working heavy with my team to try and figure out a way to come into this championship with the best of all our powers. So I'm extremely excited, especially because of all the big names that are going to show up. So I feel like this is the chance to if I want to have some good championship fight, this is where it has to happen in the Porsche Cup.
You have the best momentum going into it. The prologue coming up. Best of luck into that one.
Thank you. Then I'll be seeing you some other time. Hopefully we see each other later on in the Porsche Cup. but always a pleasure. Amazing championship.
Thank you so much for joining it and being a part of it and making history yourself. That's it for your race winner. Let's go talk to our driver who finishes in second position. A great showcase there, but Ari is our driver who finishes on the next step. Ari, you have a word?
Hello.
One of our oldest drivers here making a comeback, maybe full-time, maybe not, we'll see, but a P2 that felt like pure shades of 2021. How was that race for you? You had a fun one there against Eros.
Well, I see what you mean by shades of 2021, but that back then it would have been you in P1 and me trying to chase you. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm used to finishing P2 in this league, and I'm also used to finishing P2 against Andy, because Andy, honestly, I think if I ever beat him, then something went wrong on his end, and not that I did something better than him. So what I'm taking away from this is just the fact that on a few occasions I set a faster lap than him. So Andy, I know you are listening. I know you'll like hearing that as motivation to keep working. But yeah, about the battle with Eros, that was really fun at the start. I honestly was a little gutted because I knew that in the race against Andy, turn 2 would have been my only opportunity to get Andy, and in my attempt to get Andy, I got overtaken by Eros, who did really well placing his car in the right place at the right moment, and there was absolutely nothing I could do in that position. And then it was, for a few laps, I was trying to just put pressure on him and see where his weaknesses are, where he would snap. Then I was close enough coming out of the last corner, so that's pretty much where the battle ended. And from there on, it was just me hot lapping, and then in the final lap, I tried to set the fastest lap possible, and I was quite happy with what I did. It was a 41.5.
An absolute stellar showcase. It was great seeing you have an amazing battle. It really just gave me goosebumps. It was so awesome seeing what you can do even all these years later. Of course, we got an amazing snippet. We look back at last year at Zandvoort and GT4, but coming into the future here, I know I saw a new livery. Is this potentially full-time for the Porsche Supercup coming up?
Well, for now, it is just a placeholder. I don't know where I'm going to be driving, with who, or if I'm going to be driving, though I really do want to, but only time will tell, I guess. For now, this is just me making a livery, looking ahead to today and not looking ahead to the whole season.
Well, I can't wait to see what you can do. Are you going to be taking part in this next one coming up?
Absolutely. I mean, that's why I made the livery.
Just making sure. Congratulations, a great performance here. Hopefully, I'll be able to talk to you back on the podium after this prologue. Congratulations, B2.
Thank you.
Thank you. So that is your driver who sits P2, now third position, a back-to-back week on the podium. Eros, what a fantastic drive. It may be P3, but that battle that you had holding off Ari to almost the very end, but just could not get it done. Still, a round of applause, and one of our favorite drivers to watch in that one. How was that race for you?
Yeah, I'm happy again to get a podium, 2 podiums in a row, and I have a good start, and I found the pace with Adi. Very good battle with Adi. I tried to find my pace, but I don't have a lot of practice in this race, so I tried to make my best, but I don't know. I don't want. I have fun.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was very awesome watching you out there, and it was some great performances. You've really tuned up the band recently and given us a different side of you. Now as we head into the next championship, what are the thoughts? Are you feeling a lot more confident as we head into these Porsche Supercups?
Yeah, I like the car. and I like the circuits that we're gonna race, and I'm gonna try my best again. I'm gonna make more laps than this championship, cause I don't know. I like Mazda, but it's a bit slow, and I'm gonna try to make myself in a good position for the next championship.
Well, can't wait to
With
see
my
what you can do.
teammate.
Yeah, for sure.
He was sleeping today.
Well, can't wait to see what you can do coming up to this one, this prologue, and for the Porsche Supercup. Congratulations, a great podium, and yeah, hopefully we can see you coming up here for the next one.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that's it for MX-5. Server is now up for Porsche Supercup. We have practice going on right now, and then we'll get into qualifying. And that is it for MX-5 Cup, but the stream is not ending there. Game on. It's a brand new era coming up. It's Porsche Supercup. Let's see what it's all about. We're going to have a quick little technical interference, and we'll show you what this trailer is truly all about. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Okay, pen might hit the paper, but we making more than songs. Life is in the music, we've been writing more than wrongs. Lighting in the bottle, stories too long. That's why I'm in the front row, arms locked with the strong. See, I don't know how others get by. Me and my sisters and brothers alike, we step in the party knowing everybody's a part of a bigger and better reply. My money's on why, cause we do or die, and why would I lie? Cause who could deny they jumping together when feeling the bottom? The only concern is you feeling surprised. I can't slow now, cause when it goes down, we all know either you move or you frozen. Path was chosen, it's like that. It's like that.
Here we go. This is it. It's a new chapter, and it's a returning favorite. Porsche Supercup and CMRSC is back, and we are racing here for another spectacular one here. Welcome to Porsche Supercup. It's open practice, and then we get into qualifying. One shot to put down your fastest lap. So let's see how they fare. We're at the same circuit, and we're in much faster machines. This is going to be an awesome one. I cannot wait to see these drivers put down their best of the best here as we watch Aim and Nasseir just avoid the barrier. No, it hits the barrier there. But let's have some fun. Let's have some fun around here. As all the drivers, some of them making a return back here. Ari is one of them. So here we go as we watch these cars go around for about 5 more minutes and we head into it. Welcome here for Porsche Super Cup. If you're just tuning in, we've just completed our MX-5 Cup Championship. And now we get in for this one. Brand new ordeal here. A lot of drivers here showing up for this one. But this is it here. It's called the Prologue. Now, this one is going to have a different kind of format as we actually get into it. So, welcome. As all the drivers now getting into it, a lot of drivers now seeing the server settings here, even though they were posted a handful of days below. But we get this one underway here. So all the drivers now putting in their laps, getting ready for this one. And a lot of names you're going to see coming back here and brand new as well. So let's talk about them for the moment. Aim and Nasseir, Daniel Santos, Andy Parker, former race winner, and champion looking to make it back-to-back. Ari's going to be here. We have a newcomer here joining us in CMRC. I think it's pronounced Elijah, but correct me if I'm wrong there in chat. Elijah Valenti, Eros Conti, Mackenzie Thompson, Jimmy Bunn. We have Reno Tomboli, Massimo Tutoro. We have Kirill back once again. And we have Matthew currently sitting in the pits, Gabriel Martins, Tiago and Danielle Diaparano, Layla. And we have Joshua, Danny, Oleg, Leonardo. As he goes side by side with Oleg, is headed to turn one. This is going to be a crazy race out here. This is going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait for it as we get this one started. Over 20 drivers will enter the fray, but only one man or one woman will call themselves a race winner today. It's non-points paying, so it's a real fun exhibition race, but this is all the research they need. They need all this bit of information as they get ready to get into the big one. And we're gonna have 8 minutes of solo qualifying, so the drivers have a full session all to themselves. As Daniel Santos setting in the best lap there. getting ready for this one. 1:55 left to go in practice. Andy Park going faster on this lap. Let's go on board. Andy Park was one of the fastest drivers here, tying up with Eamon Espeir and Daniel Santos, the group of GT3 flyers are going out here, and they're going to be giving it their all because they want to be back on the top picture. Daniel Santos did take part in the Mazda MX-5 Cup. So now we have a different story here. So there he goes, Andy Park. Let's just take a listen. Let's turn down the music and let's just listen to this one on board in car. Oh, that's trouble there, hitting the wall, and that's against Oleg. So, open practice is done and dusted. We're going to get into qualifying in just a moment here. So, as practice now comes to an end, a lot of drivers asking a lot of questions, answering it over in the chat side. So, apology, I'm not giving you guys some love over on the stream side. Promise I will for racing conditions. All right. 60 seconds as we get into qualifying here. It's a single car qualifying session. I'll try to speed this up as bit as possible. A couple days ago, we updated the rule set and we confirmed the fuel and tire percentages. You may notice that it is kind of crazy. They're 200 and 400. It is aka known as 2X and 4X. If you do take a look at the Porsche Supercup rules, it is described in there why, it is described in there if you do use CMRT and Pro tires. Here, I'll tell it to you here. It is important to note that CMRT and Pro tires, or any app that tracks your tire life in AC that's not the default app built in, will display incorrect information if the tire wear is set over 1X, which is the default. Just because an app says after 3 laps the tire life is dead, it is clearly not if you just decide to drive past 3 laps more or longer, despite what the app says. Solo qualifying begins now. You're free to come out on track. You're going to see you're the only car on track. It's just up to you to set your fastest lap, and we go down to see who is going to take pole position. It's going to be a rolling start after that, but as for now, just trust the tire and fuel usage. Last year, we used 3X, 300% for the tire wear. So yeah, there's nothing to complain if we've done this before. You're free to refuel, you're free to change tires in this race. However, it's no mandatory pit stop, so have some fun out there. If you did not follow the instructions of clicking the check-in button to check yourself in for the race, unfortunately, you did not make the cut, but it is very important you read all the rules that's posted in the event briefings and mentioned many times to do that. We cannot add anything furthermore. So, qualifying is underway. Let's get this one going. A lot of drivers very curious on, well, what is going on? Why is the tire life crazy? Let's get this one refreshed here, and let's watch qualifying go down here. It's a single car qualifying as we get started here. So it's actually going to be very interesting to see what qualifying is going to look like in this single car session. Let's find out. But as we start this one off here, we're looking for our drivers to put in their best lap in this 8-minute session that we have. Coming across the line here for the first time, Andy Park. We have Marino crossing the line first as well. And we'll see what he can do. Just keep a friendly reminder to watch your track limits. We're able to watch them. If you do take abuse of them, you'll be swiftly out of this session. So, as we continue this qualifying session here, looking for the fastest time up the board. And looks like we may have ourselves a pretty stellar qualifying here. Let's see what goes down. So as our first drivers making their way around from their out lap as they head into their first lap, I'm seeing Brino with a 124, and I have noticed that he did cut one part of the circuit. Now, if it did count, he's booted out from this one after clear instruction to not do that. But if it was an out lap, he will be getting a massive slap on the wrist. But let's see if the timing board does update, or if it's actually Andy Park and Gabriel Martins who share the front row. Now around the final corner, and Brino is going to be that first driver to cross the line. And let's see what he's going to be doing out here. Crossing it now. And it's a 1:30.518. And wow, that is a lap time and a half. Well, it wasn't though. Andy Park takes it back here, a 1:27.540. Eamon Esbier going even faster. He'll take provisional. And Daniel Santos is going to take it right back. It's the classic GT squad back and going. So let's see how they fare up here. And, well, I did see something I didn't want to see in this qualifying session, and I'm just going to give it one more moment here as Daniel Santos goes purple in the first sector here. And crossing the line now, Daniel, well, actually, no, it's gonna be Brino, who did cross a line there, but did cut the middle part of the track once again. And Race Direction is going to note that, not going to like it at all. So we're also going to be watching Andy Park. We also have Eamon Esbier, Daniel Santos. They're coming up very soon, but here comes Andy Park around this final part here. And on to the front straight. Drivers have just about 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to go to complete this one. And Park only enough for P3. So his fastest lap so far, 1:27.540. It's Eamon Esbier who takes back pole position with a 1:27.2. Followed by that, so Eamon Esbier, Daniel Santos sharing the front row. Andy Park, Walenti P4, so second row for the debut there of the Dutch driver. And, ooh, trouble for Layla, taking that one to the pit. We're slowly coming to the end of this one. 2 minutes left to go. Now crossing the line next as Daniel Santos, fastest in the first part of qualifying. And he's fastest in the first sector. So great effort here so far from him with a 27.148. Eamon Espeir with a fastest sector 3, 24.8. But at the moment right now, he's putting down a 127. So great lap there from him. We're almost done qualifying. Then we're going to see these drivers on the big screen. You won't want to miss it. Andy Park crossing the line, still stays P3. Here comes Eamon Espeir. No, not enough for pole. And Santos crosses as well, and he is still fastest. Can we see the first sub 126? Now that would be very interesting. They have 1 minute and 40 left to go. As the rest of the field now comes across the line from the front straight. So far, it's Santos, Espeir, Park, with Ari and Valenti. Layla's up there, P6 with Mackenzie Thompson, Kasper Teshiaki next up as well. Now we have 1 minute left to go here in qualifying. A lot of drivers calling it quits. Crossing the line there for one final time. Who is going to be the first driver that meets the checkered flag? That's going to be a very important one to see. Now 40 seconds left to go. Park next. We're also going to see Eamon Espeir, Daniel Santos, who will have another option. Andy Park goes to pole. 127.092. Followed by Daniel Santos, Eamon Espeir. None of them can improve. That is a massive shout. That's a lap and a half there from Andy Park. Almost into the 26s. Can we see it? Time's up, excuse me. In 5 seconds, and Andy Park's going quicker. One final opportunity to do this here. And crossing the line now. His checkered flag is firmly out. Layla crossing it now. And it's P6. Oleg will be next to come to the line from the final corner onto the front straight. As we watch this one go down. Looks like Oleg will take it into the pits. Our next drivers here, mainly the ones looking for pole position, are coming up fast. They'll be the next drivers to the line. Eamon Espeir, Daniel Santos. I'm also seeing the Dutch Valenti coming to the line in this next pack coming up. Now around the final corner, onto the line. Santos makes an error on the final corner, so no improvement for him. Eamon will take it to the pits. And looks like everybody's going to be taken into the pits from that next part there. Kasper is going to be next to the line with Tiago. Now, do they have one more opportunity for a lap time that they'll stay out? Tiago will. He's from P10 at the moment. Any improvement from 10th position? No. Tuzaro will take it to the pits. Leonardo will be next to the line. Andy Park, I believe his qualifying is already done. Will be able to get another one, potentially. Might be able to get through it. But we reach the end of this qualifying session here in Park. The last driver to come around the final corner and race to the line. And that should firmly complete this session here. Park takes it to the pits. Qualifying is complete. All right. Great qualifying session there. Congratulations, your top three, Andy, Daniel, and Eamon. We get into racing conditions now. We'll be on the grid in a minute. This is a 20-lap race. Use this opportunity now to see the fuel usage from qualifying from the laps you just did to time it for 20 laps. If you're rejoining into the server, my best option for you is just to put in a full tank. There is no mandatory pit stop, but you're free to come in at any point. Once again, CMRT, Pro Tires, or anything that's not the default Assetto Corsa app will not give you accurate information. It's a weird glitch where if it's even 1.1 times multiplier, those apps do tend to put out some wrong information there, but trust me, I've done my homework to give you guys the best tire usage life, but this is the one that we'll be using for the championship. Now, we're coming into a rolling start, so I gotta be very clear here. This is not a standing start. We are gonna be going racing when those lights go out. You'll be on the grid now for 2 minutes. The lights are gonna go out, and it's just gonna be 80 kilometers, staying 2 by 2. I'm not too sure there, Tiago, what the actual fuel number is. I would say just pull a full tank and be safe out there. So you're going to see on the top of your screen from the safety car widget that it is a rolling start. You're going to be going 2 by 2, 80 kilometers max. I'm going to repeat that again. 80 kilometers maximum throughout this one. Once you get back onto the front straight, if you are going to use a pit limiter, make sure that's off because you don't want to have a car running in behind you because you forgot to put off that button. So if you are using that, keep an eye on your pit limiter. If not, remember, it's 80 kilometers or 50 miles per hour. We're going to be going around just once. And then we go racing. There's no mandatory pit stop. There's no safety car. There's no virtual safety car. It's merely a sprint to the very end. Now, if we do have a crash that is more than the field, more than half the field, I should say, apologies, then we will have one restart. We'll do this one once again. Best of luck, 35 seconds. Remember, it's a rolling start. Here we go, folks. So, this is it here. For this one. And I think crowd is already getting pretty pumped up. Chat, I hope you've enjoyed your time here. I'll keep an eye on you and I'll be talking to you for this one. Rolling start's gonna come up here. And here we go. Lights are out. And the drivers are in for the rolling start. So what does this mean? The drivers are rolling at 80 kilometers. They can't go faster than that. They're going to go around this pace just one lap. Now, no weaving. There is no weaving whatsoever. That is according to the rules. No weaving, no brake checking, no tire warming. It is just driving normally. That is a part of the rules. Do not break it. If you're caught doing that in this warm-up lap, I'm afraid I will just have to send you off your way. You won't be racing here today. So the drivers coming around here. 2 by 2. And a brilliant set of Porsche Supercups. You'll be seeing them live coming up. Bit of a gap there from some of the drivers here in this rolling start. A bit of a gap as well, but as they get ready here, now this is a very tricky point, so let's just hope that all our drivers can get through here. The light is off. That means it is this lap that we go green. Now, just a reminder, I'm not telling you guys when we are going racing. It'll be all done on real penalty. Keep an eye on the safety car light. Once you see the light turn green, that is when we go racing. So it is not controlled by me. If you're very used to that, keep your ears open. There will be one beep that turns to red. Do not get scared by that. Once the light turns red, it is your final chance to catch up and to park yourself getting ready for the race. Best of luck. Let's have some fun out there. 20 laps. Getting ready. We're waiting for the light. Red light on. We wait for it. We are racing here. It's already a crash there. 2 people get it wrong there, and we're racing. 3 off there. Another driver getting it wrong. They all got way too antsy in the rear end. Do they all get it wrong? Not all of them. It's not half the pack. And so we get racing here into turn 1. It's Daniel Santos who's trying to take the lead of the Grand Prix. And a park side by side going backwards there. And we get going. As now side by side, they're up for the lead. A lot of drivers got it wrong on that start there. A lot of them getting a drive-through, but Daniel Santos defending hard on Andy Park as they head into the left-hander. Oleg looking in the background, sliding on the rear end. Now into the left-hander. A lot of drivers got it wrong there. What a shame there. So many drivers will have to take a drive-through at the end of this one into this exhibition. Now into the right-hander. Drivers in the background, that's Krill. Went a little bit deep there, got it wrong for the moment. Now into the left-hander. On corner exit, it's an absolute scruffy one out there, but the top driver is able to get away. And looks like that's all for the jump start, so a record there. I've seen, almost 7 or 8 drivers getting jump start for simply not following the rules. Now into the left-hander for the second time here on Green Flag Racing. Andy Park is going to be all over the rear of Daniel Santos. Uphill, left-hander. On exit there, switching into the right-hander. And Daniel is going to have a lot of work to do to defend off against the MX-5 Cup champion as the top 4 starts to exit the picture. Now Matthew gets his drive-through taken as we continue up to the front of this pack here. 4-car battle. And Chad, I know you're loving it with the drive-through penalties. Well, you saw there that number 90 did mean that was the amount that you could go faster than, but that's the amount is the max. You had to stay 80 kilometers, and drivers did unfortunately jump it too early, and I have a feeling it could have potentially been that red light, but it's still racing conditions here. Into the left-hander, Andy Park, Eamon Espeir. It's going to start to put some real heat there on Park. Cloudy conditions as well. And as they head down the front straight into turn 1, it's Eamon Espeir with the fastest lap of the race. That's how the map is looking, and that's what the top 4 is. They are absolutely out of this picture. Now, it's a non-points playing race. They can still get penalty points, but in terms of the championship, this is their way of feeling out the competition and feeling out the car themselves. Now, on the straight again, next time out. And Andy Park all over the rear. This is going to be such a fun race here. So much to watch out for. We'll look in the background as we watch on the short camera there. Casper is getting it all over the inside of Oleg, side by side this time by. Very close between each other. But meanwhile, Andy Park makes a move down the inside of the race leader. Daniel Santos, no word to answer from that one. He's side by side. Andy Park on the inside line preferably, but the outside could turn to the inside. No, Santos, he'll back off. And position set off again now, so Andy Park will take the lead here from starting P2. And Park trying to break the toe desperately. This is what we're talking about here. Porsche Cup racing. Giving up an absolute fine treat. A 28-0 fastest lap for Andy Park, who had a lovely toe as they headed up the straight there. Lots of action going on in the mid-pack here. Up the road, Oleg. Then it's followed by Casper. Valenti. Next up is Mackenzie Thompson. And Mackenzie, could you look up or move down the inside? Very close between the two. Now left-hander, door-to-door. And let through. Valenti on the outside, shuffled back. And now back to their reset positions between each other. As we watch on board with Daniel Santos chasing down Andy Park. They're trying to get nose to tail between each other. Ladies and gentlemen, you are getting an absolute exclusive of what this championship is going to be about. But it's going to be, this is just a small form. It's just a small form of what this one is going to be. In the background, Leonardo, Danielle, Dia Perano. They're fighting hard between each other. Now, side by side, Mackenzie Thompson has the inside on Casper. And can they nail it? Yes, they can. And Mackenzie will try for another move here. Now, is it possible? Side by side, door is touched there. Casper sent for a spin. Mackenzie, and I don't know if that was just taking out Casper there, but Casper is a sitting duck. And that is such a shame there. And Mackenzie tapping the rear end. Now the rule is for overtaking, the front tires of the rear car must align with the defending car's rear tire. So front tire against rear tire, front axle and rear axle. If that's not met, somebody's at fault. And if Mackenzie was not able to go alongside of Casper, that's all on Mackenzie's fault there. But there's no penalties that's dished out throughout these races. At least live, but after the race, it will be. Look at all of them pushing very hard as Eamon really giving it his all here, trying to get to Daniel Santos. Daniel is going to feel a lot of deja vu. 3 weeks prior, he's been sitting P2 watching Andy Park run in the distance. Surely Daniel Santos is not going to want that, but he now has Eamon Asseir behind him to keep him company. Trouble in the rear end. Something's gone wrong. And Leonardo, looks like it was contact between that man there, Oleg Sanson, who's found himself in the barriers. We head back to this fight here. And also there's trouble. Tiago Ravaz facing the wrong way. Absolute insanity here. The tracks they're going to be going to a lot bigger, a lot more hard hitting. We're going to go to Spa, and that's really going to give us some different kind of racing. This is some short track action, and I say short track, this 90-second circuit is going to be something to look out for here. Now into the right-hander. And Sanson's taking it into the pits. A lot of retirements have come out. We started today off with about 21 or 22. We've lost one driver so far who's called it quits. Now, meanwhile, we get up to this fight here. Mackenzie Thompson against Valenti. USA versus the Netherlands. Let's see what goes down here. Now, left-hander. And, oh, a little bit into the grass. Big bit of a touch there. And Mackenzie chasing hard now, trying to get this move done. Getting up into the top 5 would be great. Last week out, it was anything but great. It was a bit of a nightmare, especially race 2. Something that went wrong, but now onto the inside, trying to make up some positions. Has a penalty over her head from the contact between herself and the driver behind, Kasper Teshiaki. It happened at this part of the circuit from chasing very close. Andy Park, fastest lap of the race. Now on the front straight once again. And the top 5 looking a little bit difficult here for Mackenzie. Has to get a good run, but you see the damage that's on the front there of that Super Cup. It's not looking nice. We're almost at the halfway point. of this race. Already a slide, a monster slide there. Recovers it. It doesn't lose much time. Trying to see if we have any other battles. We don't have battles that are as this close. The battle for second between Eamon and Santos. Well, that's heating up. But Mackenzie starting to get closer. Ari is also entered under a second. It was the rear end of Mackenzie getting it wrong there. Now, the tire life is also something to note. If you're going to go full attacking, stuff like this will happen and it's going to hurt your tires more. The drivers have the option to come into the pit stop. It's completely for free. You can do it. There's no mandatory pit stop, so we'll find out. Unfortunately, Regan, we're not able to see tire wear, which would be pretty awesome, I will say. And oh no, hitting the curb there. Not going to help out. We swap over to Ari chasing down Eamon Espeir. Now, Eamon and Ari have a bit of history. Look back, 2025 Race of Champions. Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort. GT4 racing between the two. It was very close pack racing. Felt like this almost. Where Ari and Eamon were in that fight. A lot of door-to-door action was made between each other. And there's a bit of trouble there. Speaking of which, Layla, who did get into contact with somebody at the start. I don't know who. Matthew was also part of the turn 1 wreck. A lot of drivers just misinterpreted the start. They just got it completely wrong. And it's a one and done here for the prologue. Once we get into racing conditions in next week time, Belgium Grand Prix, April 4th at Spa. That's where the championship really begins. We may be a little bit lenient there. But it's more of a battleground, a test battleground. Look at Danny Nasseir as well. Up to P9. He's got Thiago Ravaz behind. Trouble up the road. Was there somebody that was off? It was Kirill. He's done. He's had enough. I did see somebody go off there. I'm not too sure who that was. Was that Danny Nasseir? I don't think so. Actually, it could have been. Very close here this time around. Short screen you're looking at. Casper chasing down Mackenzie Thompson. We'll have that on the big screen. So Mackenzie going for another slide. The tires are just not holding on. Remember, they can pit. They're at the halfway point. They can pit if they want to. But these drivers might push to the very end. This is the exact type of racing we're going to see. And Mackenzie is going to do that. Has to slow down for the pit marker there coming up. And does so. So no speeding penalty there. So Mackenzie Thompson, ladies and gentlemen, is your first driver to say, screw these tires, I'm going for the stop. Now, this is what happened back last year at Porsche Supercup, and you're looking at one driver who was the only driver out of all the races in Porsche Supercup to go for a no-stopper. It was the main race, it was 45 minutes of racing, so it was actually longer than this stint. His tires are absolutely dead. His rivals pitting earlier on. They had a gap to pull, but the gap was not enough because Eamon was able to hold on for dear life and get it done. So now the drivers are in a phase where they have to take care of these tires. And you see there, the sliding that some of the drivers are pulling off, the door-to-door battles, they have to cut out. They cannot be always going side-by-side racing, even though it's entertaining for us. They gotta be very careful with their tires. And that's what we're going to see. Now, if the top pack can stay closer to each other for another 10 laps, we'll see. Mackenzie Thompson, however, out on track. Looks like maybe fixed. Nah, it doesn't look like fixed at the front. But P12. So brand new tires, I suppose, for Mackenzie Thompson. And look at the advantage that Mackenzie has down the inside of the Portuguese Matthew Durante. And now up to 11th. And Ari is also going to make the stop as well. This is brilliant here. Valenti is also going to come in. This is going to be such a unique strategy here. This is what we introduced for the championship. It's left the top drivers here to stay out. The top three is just by themselves. Casper has moved up to 4th. Ari is now back on track. Fresh new tires. Danny Nasseir will come around the outside of Ari. Now, is it a position that's going to be moved or done? He's 6 up the road. Now, let's find out. We're going to be taking a very close look. Ari is one of the top drivers. Very quick. And we're going to see if the compound will help Brand new set. This is going to be very interesting. Lap traffic up the road here. That's not where you want to be there on the apex there. But nonetheless, Eamon will get through with probably a hand in the air, a fist in the air, saying, come on, man. You can't be parking it on the apex if you're going to let through lap traffic. Now, yes, we're going to take a close look at these lap times here. Last lap for each driver. Let's start off with Andy Park, 27.4. Daniel Santos, 27.8. Eamon, 27.999. Now we're going to wait for Ari, and we're going to find out, is the gamble worth it? There's Ari chasing up, and look who Ari is caught up to. Thiago Ravaz. These tires are working. So now, first official lap for a brand new set. Mackenzie Thompson also up here. We'll see if Mackenzie has a competitive lap time to compete here. 28.7 was the best lap, but not the last lap. We'll find out right now with a little bit of tow, I'll add. And 28.3, faster than her best. And contact is made. A very scary moment off the circuit. There goes Danielle. Will not hit the wall. Crucial moment there. But a very, very scary moment, I will say. Now up at the front. Lap 12 of 20. You got to imagine. What's Daniel and Eamon thinking? Trouble for Daniel Santos. He's in the grass. And is that Andy Park who's in the pits? Yes, it is. The leader has entered the pit lane. Now this is going to get interesting. Side by side for the lead now officially. Eamon Asseir, Daniel Santos as they head around turn 1. And Eamon Asseir will now take the lead of the Grand Prix. Now Ari has some work to do to catch up fast now. Last lap for her. 28.0. Can you imagine it? And Ari is 4/10 faster than Andy Park. Andy, I think, has realized it. Called it into pits. This is going to be a wild goose chase coming up to the very end of this one. This is awesome. This is what we are talking about. It's what we introduced for the 2026 season, and we're getting a stellar performance. Now, with Park's performance, he's able to come out in fourth, but is it enough to stay in fourth? Remember, Ari was in that battle, and here comes Ari trying to come up into turn 2. Look how close Ari has gotten, and if both Eamon and Daniel Santos come into the pits, this could be absolutely huge. If not, it's going to be a goose chase that they're going to have to catch up. Leonardo gets out the way for both Eamon Asseir and Daniel Santos to go through. They're P1 and P2. Now the question is, do they come in? The tank can make it to the very end. But can these drivers make it with these tires? Now Eamon Asseir, you look at the Sachsen's ring. He made it. He was able to go for the no stop, and he completed it. P1. Now, can he do it again? He's not alone this time. He's got Santos for company. Behind, it's Thiago. He's decided to come in. Behind there, Leonardo catching up here into turn 1. Now, down the inside, though, Leonardo will go through. I think Thiago saw it, but around the outside, this is what the grip is all about. Look at that. Walked around the outside, even though Leonardo had the inside line. Leonardo's just struggling there on those compounds. Now, here comes Ari. Under a second here, and they have work to do. They're Andy Park, 15 seconds behind Casper on the podium. Can it be done? Because at this stage, Eamon and Daniel's tires, as well as Casper's, they're going to be gone. They're down the drain. This is going to be such an exciting fight. Has the gamble paid off? And that's what the awesome thing is about this race. You can make this gamble and try things out before the championship begins. That's what the Prologue is all about. Trying new things and seeing how it works out. Trouble for Eamon. Those tires, they're not holding on. The rear end steps out. Loses a lot of time on corner exits. Santos is just staying behind, probably working together with our top driver here. Chat, let me know how you're feeling about this race so far. No mandatory pit stop, but we have such a unique perspective on what strategy is all about. Now, there is trouble down the road, though. Danny Nasseir, and it was Matthew. Look at Danny go. He's up to 8th position. Yeah, a little bit of slide there. Remember, he's on used tires as well. He's not come in. He's on the inside line. Matthew's going to go around the outside and get that done. Andy Park, 27.403, has set the fastest lap of the race. And Eamon Asseir has gone wide on turn 5. Santos will take the lead into 6. Spots have swapped around. A real war of attrition. Now Eamon down to P2. They're both unused carcasses of tires, trying to get this rubber to go to the very end of this Grand Prix. Now Ari and Andy Park, they're now 12 seconds behind. It's coming down fast, but with 6 laps left to go, is it enough? Is it enough that this gamble worked out? Now, keep in mind, 20 laps of racing, we should be entering about 30-ish, I want to say 27 to 30 minutes of racing. Now, the championship, that's 55. So they have almost double this length. And for sure, if Eamon and Daniel are going to stay out for half of this one, can they do it for Longo? Now, trouble into turn 1. It's Danielle who's got it wrong into turn 1. Is that his day? Done and dusted. Yellow flags are out at the first part of this circuit. He's stuck there. He's got to get a move on. P15, no, P14's there. Somebody's with them. Somebody just entered the pits. It's 2 drivers there. Oh, it's 2. It's both Power Pixel teammates. Andy Park says it's the fastest lap of the race. I'm very confused what's going on between the two. They got to take it into the pits. Danielle has come in. And, all right, Leonardo, you cannot park there. You're going to have to take it into the pits. You have to take it into the pits immediately. Not too sure what's going on for him. Oh, he's blown up the engine. So, having trouble. And looks like it has been cleared. P8. Oh, there's trouble. Jimmy Bunn in the gravel from turn 1. And take a look at this fight up here. Andy Park has lap traffic to go past, and that's one way to get through. Andy Park, 9 seconds off. Let's try to get rid of those yellow flags there. Let's get back green flag racing, shall we? So Leonardo blew up his engine. That's why he retired. Could not make it to the very end of this one. But now, Andy Park, this gamble is getting harder to complete. If it has worked out. Now, 8 seconds up the road. Casper's last lap time was a 128.5. Excuse me, 128.549. Andy Park, 127.220. It's a massive improvement there. And there is your driver who was leading this race. Once again, I will repeat it here. It's a non-points playing race. The prologue is mainly just to get these drivers accustomed to these cars, to the format, and to the championship coming up. And right now, the leaders, the top 3 who have not come in, it's been very unique. Your following drivers who came in includes Andy Park. We have Ari that came in, including Mackenzie Thompson. Matthew had come in. Valenti as well. Massimo Tutoro and Leila Petragula has come in. So far, we've lost about 5 drivers. Bruno, Oleg, Kirill, Danielle, Leonardo. And look at this gap here. We're 3 laps to go to the end. Andy Park is chasing down the podium, and Casper is going to be sweating bullets soon. Now, granted, Andy Park's tires are going to be reaching their life of grip complete, and they're going to start feeling a lot more older. Trouble for Thiago. Into the grass there, gets back going. Andy Park, fastest lap of the race again. 127.128. And Andy Park pulling away from Ari. But 3 laps left to go, and looks like Eamon has fallen backwards to Daniel Santos. Up in the lead. It's so crucial that these drivers hold on to their tires. Let's go on board. Let's go driver's eye even, hairpin. Now Eamon's going to be feeling the tire wear. And I have a feeling you want to make a bet here, chat. If we interview these top 3 drivers, let's interview the top 2, and we mention anything about tires, I think we're gonna get a lot of negative comments about them. They're gonna say something about how dead these tires are, and the multiplier too high. Now last year, remember, 45 minutes of racing, we set it at 3 times, so 300% that was set in the server. This is now 400% for a race that's longer. So it's very peculiar as we see Massimo and Tiago fight against each other. I think this may be a really proper opportunity to look at a driver who hasn't pit in Massimo against a driver who has in Tiago. But Tiago, there's something wrong. He's got damage on that car, and it's just not working out in his favor. Now, meanwhile, look at the battle for the podium now. Gap is 1.9, 1.8, just under 2 seconds. And Casper, whoa, trouble there. It's Danny Nasseir. Oh, he's got it wrong. And Danny Nasseir was doing an excellent job of hunting down and holding on to P8. And it's just gone downhill. He's down to 12th. It was a dream moment, but the tires did not hold on. Danny Nasseir lets through the battle for 3rd. And look at that, Casper holding on to his tires. It's like driving on slicks in the middle of the rain. Nothing Casper can do. He went for the gamble and he stayed out. A podium is unfortunately ripped away from him with 1.5 laps left to go. And speaking of 1.5, call that 1. And Danny Nasseir, more trouble for him. The car, yeah, those tires are absolutely cooked. The white flag is out for Daniel Santos to take a win back here. And it's the perfect momentum he needs to begin his championship campaign. Layla coming up on Tiago. 2 drivers who did pit and got new tires. And let's see what could go down between them. Meanwhile, Ari is going to start to put the pressure down on Casper to put him down to 5th. Oh, is Layla trying to find every way to go through. You got to imagine Layla would have been far up there, far up the order if she wasn't taken out in the early goings of this race. Could have been in the fight for the top 5 even. Could have, should have, would have. But as we enter around the final course here, in this final battle, Danny Nasseir always called it quits. The tires just could not hold on. Battle for 4th position. And Ari in the same place that Andy Park did will get the move done. Ari to 4th. Massimo blue flags. Rounding out the final corner, Daniel Santos has held on to these used tires as well as Eamon Espeir. And they'll come around the final corner. It's only been about 30 minutes of racing. We'll find out what the future will hold for this championship. But the prologue will go to Santos. Welcome back to the top. Eamon will finish P2. And the gamble that Andy Park tried to pull off in this 30-minute exhibition, well, he'll hustle up to P number 3. Ari, he'll be delighted to know that she will finish P number 4. Next up, Casper could not hold on, followed by Massimo. What a race. What a fight. As the rest of our pack will race to the line, it's not going to be for official positions. Daniel Santos is going to be saying to himself, yeah, these tires, there's no way I'm making them around in 0 stops at Spa. But he's done a great job, and he's going to kill them now, isn't he? I think he's just parking it there for us. What a great one. What a fantastic bit of action. Andy Park, he's going to park it up into the corner there. All right. that is the prologue done and dusted, I'll say. First and foremost, we'll talk about everything that went down there, from the start procedure to tire life after the stream, and we'll go from there. At the end of the day, this was our one chance to test out everything, to make sure that Spa and the rest of the championship is smooth sailing. So, take this one as a little bit of a fun exhibition. And I'm seeing in chat, if you want to send your screenshots of your tire life, I have a feeling that they are completely dead by the end of that one. Let's talk to our drivers who finish in the top 3. And we're going to start off with the man who finishes P1. It's great to be back at the top step for this man here, Daniel Santos. Daniel, you went for a gamble here. 0 stops, and it absolutely paid off. Now, it was only about 20 laps, which is about 30-ish minutes. Not the full 55 minutes that we're going to see for the actual championship. But take us through that one nonetheless. How was that race for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very good race. Yeah, the strategy call out, definitely, I mean, we were already planning on no stopping. I remembered how Eamon did the no stops back in Porsche Cup last year, so we just went like, yeah, let's take the gamble as well. Thankfully paid off, but yeah, the last like 3-4 laps were just all on ice, could not drive the car properly. And but yeah, it was very fun to just wrestle the car back to the end.
I love hearing the smile from you. It was a pure gamble, and even myself, I was thinking about that on stream as well. You remember back at the sections ring, what Eamon was able to pull off. Now, again, this was 20 laps, not the full race distance. You think about this tire life. Do you think there is a chance that a full potential 0 stop is on the cards, or do you think you just gotta pit?
I think it's gonna come down to the track itself and how a person is gonna approach the whole race. I don't think at the moment, from what I gathered today, is possible, but maybe I'm wrong. You know, I also thought in last year no stopping wasn't possible, and Damon proved me wrong twice. So we'll see.
And first and foremost, I know it's the prologue, but P1, it's been so long since you've won a race, which is absolutely criminal to say about you and what you've done and accomplished in this one. So, getting the win, heading from the prologue into the main championship, how are you feeling?
You know, it's good to be back on a card that I actually enjoy. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the actual thing. You know, me and Eamon now as teammates instead of rivals. It's gonna be very interesting to say the least. But yeah, I'm hyped for it. I always liked this car. I did well with it in the past, and ROC was one of my best cars as well. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens indeed. Congratulations. Hold on to that P1 and just keep that smile going until we get to the start in Belgium on April 4th. Congratulations. The prologue will go to you. It's no points, but I think you're still going to take a lot of that information and use that to your advantage. Congratulations, P1.
Thank you.
And now, as we move down to the next part of the grid, P2, Eamon Asseir, a performance that we are not shocked at, because as Daniel said, we have seen this type of moment from you where you decide, you know what, forget the pit stop, forget the tires, we're gonna go a no stop, and you pulled it off. It's a P2 nonetheless, but still, to be able to wrestle that car to the very end, we saw you fighting quite a bit. Take us through that one. How was that for you?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's the same thing as Danny said. Like, last time with the experience that we gathered from Porsche Cup, like, we just knew that it was worth it around certain times. But, for example, this time it was a bigger gamble because the server was on different settings throughout the whole week. So we got caught off guard quite a bit, you know. We didn't really know if the tires would last or not, but we just rolled the dice and it paid off. I mean, it was very difficult because at the slightest slide, the tire would just degrade beyond like the cliff. I was like running 40% for quite a few laps, like around lap 13 and something, trying to just keep Andy at bay and like Ari. and as soon as they pitted, we went in full management. But it was a little too late for me compared to Danny, because I had like a massive slide into the last corner after hitting the curb, and that just absolutely killed my rear right. And I got a puncture around lap 15, so I had like 5 laps where I was like 50 kph slower through turn 1 and fully sideways. Like, it was absolutely terrifying. So the fact that we even got it across the line is honestly a miracle in itself. But yeah, like it was genuinely a lot of fun to race with Danny in those conditions.
Let me hit you with this bit of information. Daniel's best lap, 127.832. Your best lap, 127.999. Andy's best lap, which was the fastest lap, 127.128. A big jump of how that pace could be. You clearly have the pace to be up front, but we know that the zero stop, it could be possible. Is that something to look into for the championship? Now, there's a lot of information to go into the future, because safety cars could come into play. The fuel, it's probably not going to make the entire distance, maybe, unless with a safety car. So there's a lot to play off where you actually might have to fuel save. But if the fuel is possible, knowing the lap times and how those tires degraded throughout that one, do you think a one stop in this championship can happen again?
It's possible, depending like on a lot of factors, like you said. But it's not something that we're looking into right now necessarily. We're just focusing on getting up to grips with the car, and qualifying was a decent performance from both me and Danny, but we could have given it a bit more. And the gap in race pace was fully due to the fact that we fueled the car with double the fuel. So we were more on a management stint than anything else. So we'll see. Like this track, it was very limited, like rear and not on the front. So as soon as the tires went, like we had no stability. If there's another track that maybe wears the tires more evenly, then it might be a possibility to have that like as an ultimate ace or something, you know, just another tool to use.
Very excited to see what you can do. Last time out, it was the championship that just got away from you at the very end. But I know going into this one, it's a whole new aiming and a whole new perspective going into the next one. Congratulations, P2 in the prologue. Best of luck as we head into the championship.
Thank you.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, it's Andy Park, and the best driver on track, finishing position to make a pit stop. Now, it ended up from P1 and finishing P3, and luckily it's a non-points playing race, so you were able to do something that your two championship rivals up the road were not able to do. They decided they weren't going to take that information. You have that information. Despite going from first to third, you now have something up your sleeve. You finished P3, but you were very quick on track, especially at the start watching that action. Take us through that one. How are you feeling?
I think if I had to describe it in one word, it would be so excited. Because, well, you saw the action of the first laps. I had some back and forth with Danny. I couldn't really make a move. But from the practice that we did before and from the chasing of the race, I saw an opening into turn 8, like, twice consecutively. And the third time I was like, okay, I'm just going to send it. And I'll trust the racecraft of both of us to keep it clean. Thankfully, it happened. There was a bit of rough racing in the beginning, but that's just part of everything. I'm glad we kept it quote-unquote clean. But I'd say the fastest lap, the big difference is a little bit of what is this, dirty data, because I was on a different strategy. So if they had been on a similar strategy to me, maybe they would have been able to match or even improve my lap time. But the thing that I can take from today is qualifying. That before, since making the jump to the wheel, I didn't think that I could even get close to them, maybe 4th or maybe 4/10. But the adrenaline injection of actually being able to take pole was something remarkable. I loved every second of it, including the strategy. When I boxed, I was like, oh, they're gonna go for it, aren't they? Well, it paid off for them. So congratulations on Danny and Eamon. They have it fully deserved, and I'm happy being third because of the information that we were able to get out of it.
A lot of great information. I'm not going to let you spoil too much of what you know, that what these tires can do, but we're getting into a much longer race. The official finishing time of that one was 31 minutes, about 16 seconds, 30 seconds. We're heading into racing. That's going to be 55 minutes. You have that pit stop up your sleeve. But tell me, as we got to the end of that one, how was the tires? And do you think into future championship races, maybe a two-stop might be at play?
I'm gonna go for a wild take, and I'm gonna say there is 0 chance of a 0-stop, and there is 0 chance for a 2-stop. Because a pit stop will take you like 30 seconds, and I think even if the track is very hard on the tires, it's just better to make it a 1-stop and see as you do. But I could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot of times. I've been wrong so many times. That's why I'm here in the first place. But you never know. I'll be happy to experiment all kinds of strategies with my team once we're back at the garage, and just to do the best that we can.
The number one's going to be on the side of the car and right over your head. You're the defending champion. I wish you the best of luck in this Porsche Super Cup series. And if we could also see Ari with you, it's going to be a fun team dynamic that you only really see maybe in the real world, like a Ferrari and Mercedes going at it with each other. If we can see some real war against the teams, it's going to be pretty awesome. But as for yourself and the main championship picture, you're the defending champion. I wish you best of luck in this one. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can tell you that much.
Thank you so much, Rahul. And I'm looking forward to being here, hopefully, in the next round. And once I actually decide on a teammate, because I've actually not seen that yet. But I have a short list. So if I have to make it, it'd probably be inside of the next 2 to 3 days.
Can't wait to see who that is. Can't wait for your championship campaign. Best of luck for Porsche Super Cup. That's it for the prologue. I will say I will jump into our lounge. If we do have a little bit of a conversation, that we will maybe finally adjust, and by Monday we'll have the final confirmation on the tires and the fuel. It'll be very similar though. It might be like 1 or 2 notches down. However, we will take all this information in. We will also take a look very closely at how the rolling start went. I know there were a plethora of jump starts from that one. We're going to take a close look at that one. We're going to polish up. We're going to come back strong for the next one. Thank you so much, though, for coming out. It was very short notice. A couple days, 2 days, Thursday, that we announced the prologue was going to happen. We're very happy that we saw a great turnout for that one. So, thank you for here at Sydney. We'll see Australia in a couple weeks' time for the last round of Porsche Super Cup, but we'll see you April 4th, directly next week, for round 1 of CMRSC's most popular championship since 2025. We'll see you then. And that's going to do it. Wow, what a race. Now, coming up on the YouTube side, tomorrow, you're going to have your must-see highlight of the MX-5 Cup, followed by the race highlights. You're going to get pole position coming up on Tuesday. Wednesday, we're going to allow you guys to watch that one once again. It's going to be the race highlights. We're going to give you guys the highlights of that Porsche Super Cup prologue. From Thursday on, we're all focused in on Belgium. It's round 1 of the championship. We have some surprises coming up on stream as well to give you guys a new refresher. As for now, though, Porsche Cup is coming up fast. This was your shortest track of racing. We may see it over for the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort momentarily. Let me just give you the poster here. Here's what it's going to look like here. So we start off at Spa, heading into Zandvoort for round 2. I will say, if you want to find a race that was as close as this, round 2 is your guy. Round 3, the halfway point, we head into Road America. It's probably the track that's going to give us the most balance of racing when it comes to the tires. From round 4, the penultimate race, Monza. Turn 1's going to be chaotic. I think you know how Monza's like in sim racing. And then round 5, you don't see this circuit outside the F1 calendar when it comes to sim racing. Albert Park Circuit, the Melbourne track in F1. We're hosting it here for CMRSC. It's going to be the grand finale. That's your official championship here. It's 50 minutes of racing. Excuse me if I did say 55 minutes. 50 minutes of racing coming up. We're going to be following that. Before that, 8 minutes of qualifying. We're not going to have that qualifying chart that we did see throughout that one. throughout today's event, so we're going to be skipping that. Once the stream begins, we're going to be gridded up and we're getting racing, so you're not going to have any chance to breathe. So make sure to get your snacks and drinks ready for the main event. That's Porsche Super Cup, and if you're a viewer wanting to become a driver, join our Discord. Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club is always looking for drivers. You can join us with the link in the description down below. Joining our Discord, get a part of the action. If you're across all the other social media platforms, I also advise you to follow us around CMRSC on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you find CMRC, we will be there, and we're gonna give you guys a show like no other. Last year, 2025, we had one of the biggest showcases, and on the first time we reached record-breaking numbers. GT3 topped that off at the start of this year. Let's find out how Spa is going to handle the drivers. Safety cars are going to come up as well. Rolling starts are going to return. Longer races, more strategy, lots of hype, lots to look forward to. We'll see you same time, same place, only on Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, the best place to find the best drivers.